What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another Manchester City video, where today I'm going to be doing my match review, match reaction and match analysis of Manchester City's home game against Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League, which has finished 2-2 and more points for Manchester City dropped in the Premier League as Manchester City continue their battle to try and get Champions League football for next season, with now just 9 games remaining in the Premier League. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It's free to subscribe. Social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What have City done wrong today? What did City do well? What can we change up heading into the remaining Premier League games after the international break? Do let me know in the comments, and finally do leave a thumbs up as well. That would be much appreciated. So my overall raw reaction to this game, I feel like this is 2 points dropped for Manchester City today, mainly because twice we led in this game. Twice Manchester City should have been doing more to ensure and protect their lead from this game, and it was all just a bit lackadaisical. Now, normally I would sit here and speak all about Manchester City, about what's gone right, what's gone wrong, and what we could do heading into the remaining games. But I do want to just take a minute or two to speak about just how good of a team Brighton are, because they're a very fearless team. They like to get forward. They were in tremendous form. Let's not forget that they'd won the last few games heading into this game. They were full of confidence, and it showed on the pitch. A well-taken free kick from Estupinan, a beautiful free kick onto the inside of the post. Yes, Stefan Ortega shouldn't be letting free kicks hitting the inside of his near post. He should be diving, he should be saving it, he should be expecting that to happen. He doesn't expect it to happen. Is the keeper at fault for the goal? Yes. But it's also a very good strike as well for a player who you wouldn't have thought it going off the strike. Hasn't scored since 2023. Just our luck. Very much, I might just sum up Manchester City's season, to be honest with you. And then the second goal, again, set pieces from Brighton, making them count and ensuring that when the ball comes in and you don't deal with the initial threat, if you're willing to have the ball and put the ball into the danger zone, then when you're making and asking questions of teams who, in particular, when their forte isn't defending, then defenders could well hit the panic stations, and that's exactly what happens. Now, yes, Claudio Khusanov was slow to come back out to help support the defensive line, so the offside trap was laid by everybody at Manchester City other than Khusanov, keeping everybody on side, including Hinchelwood, who ends up being able to poke home the goal, which I think has gone down as a Khusanov own goal because it does come off Khusanov in the end, and maybe just sums up the bit of defending there from Claudio Khusanov. And I'm hoping again he's getting questions asked, and it's going to be very easy for all of the professional pundits to be able to get on the back of Khusanov. Khusanov's been a very good defender so far for Manchester City, and I think he's a raw talent, and he's going to be one of them defenders where mistakes every now and then are going to happen, but because he's a defender and Man City are playing a high line which exposes the defenders, whenever you make a mistake, it's near enough always going to be fatal, and that's going to be something that's maybe going to be a reoccurring theme. He's not the only defender that's going to make mistakes at Manchester City. How many times have we seen the likes of Manuel Akanji stepping forward and making mistakes leading to goals for other teams? I don't get on the back of Akanji because I know how good he can be, and for me, yeah, he's at fault for the goal, but we had 2 preventable goals that we haven't managed to prevent, and I didn't think we did enough that once we went ahead to try and protect that lead and keep pushing to go for the killer 2-goal cushion, which we never managed to get into this game. And that was all about Brighton's game management, keeping themselves in the game, and they did that very well, full of high energy. Brighton did everything right. The only thing they did wrong was Belieber right at the end. Should have won it. They should have come away with the 3 points. There's a tap in, he gets excited, puts his foot underneath it and skies it into the stands, and in the end they end up coming away with a point rather than the 3 points, but it's still a pretty good point that for Brighton on the road against Manchester City. It's keeping them very interested when it comes to European football next season and Champions League football as well. The bonus is we're still above Brighton, so it keeps things still in our hands. So we know that if we can get back into winning ways sooner rather than later, then Manchester City could look pretty good. And I'm looking towards our next 3 Premier League games against Leicester City and Crystal Palace at home, and also sandwiched between them 2 games, an away game against Manchester United. There will be 3 very important games. 9 points for Manchester City, and we look much better towards getting Champions League football. But we end up coming away with, let's say, 3, 4, maybe 5 points from them games, and Manchester City are left ruin missed opportunities. And it's been a very inconsistent season with inconsistent form that's just never really recovered from November. We've shown glimpses of being very good. We showed glimpses of being very good in this game. Brighton are a very difficult team to play, so to go ahead twice against them, and it was a penalty, and it was well worked from Marmoush to win the penalty, a well taken penalty from Erling Haaland, and a well taken second goal from Omar Marmoush as well, created and gave Manchester City them opportunities. And I'm thinking to myself, a team as good as Brighton, if we're coming away with a couple of goals, it should be enough to come away with the 3 points, which would normally suggest maybe there was a problem with the defence, and not having our first choice goalkeeper with Ederson there, and the distribution wasn't as good today for Manchester City, and there were mistakes to be had all over that defensive performance from City today. For me, the big main reason with things going wrong all falls down to the opportunities created. And I want to really now just digest and speak about the wingers at Manchester City, because I just don't think we've got high quality wingers at the club. Jack Grealish not getting minutes, not being brought on. Bernardo Silva comes on, does 17 minutes, picks up a knock. Pep Guardiola is very quick to take him off. He doesn't even go down the tunnel, so I'm not even fully convinced he's all that injured, but he takes him off and puts Foden on instead. And it was all a bit interchangeable. He wants Marmoush to go out there and then takes Marmoush off and puts Kevin De Bruyne on. I'm not too sure about if Pep Guardiola knows what he wants the attackers to be able to do. And Man City are very good at being able to get the ball to the attackers. And in the final third, it's their job to make things happen. And they make some things happen. Jeremy Doku's got pace for days. He's electric. He gets to the byline. He takes defenders on. He can be very direct. And you see him make these bursting runs. You get very excited. I get very excited, and I get very unexcited when I realise Jeremy Doku's taking it to the byline and he's not going to have much end product. And the best case scenario, it's going to lead to a corner. That's the harsh reality that we're looking at. And the quality, for me, not quite there. I wanted to see much, much more from Jeremy Doku. I want to see him grabbing goals and assists for the positions that he gets himself into. The end product's got to be much better. The crosses from Doku at times today, inept. The finishing from Doku today, not at the races. And we needed it to be at the races. And at the moment, because he's not at the races, we're struggling. Savinho as well. He's only young. He's in his first season, so I'm not going to lay into him as much as what I just did with Jeremy Doku, but still, 2 wonderful opportunities in that first half. He's got to come away with at least a goal. He doesn't. He misses an absolute sitter, hitting it straight at the keeper. It was weak. It was timid. It was poor. There was no confidence. There was no conviction. Feeling sorry for themselves. And there's no real plan B for Manchester City. And that, to me, is why we've dropped points today. I don't think Pep trusts Jack Grealish to put him on for minutes. There isn't that other option to Savinho on the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva and Foden are the other options, and they're not having very good seasons either. And we've got one of the best strikers in the world in Erling Haaland being given no service. The only service and thing he's had to do today was take a penalty. No opportunities for him. Nothing was quite clicking. And we were relying on trying to get a bit of space for Omar Marmoush, which he managed to do once in the game and come away with the goal. And he also helped us win a penalty as well. So he got my man of the match for this game. But everything else was lacking from Manchester City. And we can sit here and say City are their own worst enemy, but it's also down to how good Brighton were. And thankfully, week on week, we're not going to be playing teams as good as what Brighton can be. But I'm looking towards that top half of that Premier League. And I'm looking at, other than City, there's 8 or 9 other high-quality teams. Whenever we go up against them, I can see City dropping points because we're just not at the races. I think we're flat-track bullies. I don't think we'll have a problem against Leicester City at home. Maybe not even Crystal Palace at home as well, even though Crystal Palace are very good away from home. But we will have problems when we go to Old Trafford. We'll have problems when we go to AFC Bournemouth in the FA Cup. We'll have problems against AFC Bournemouth at home towards the end of the season, against Fulham away at the end of the season as well. There's some winnable games, there's some not so winnable games, and at the moment we need to start beating these teams around us. We can't just keep giving them points and we're stuttering along at the moment. And at the moment we're pleading and going, 5th place, please, 5th place be a Champions League spot. It's not a guarantee. We need English teams to get into semi-finals of the European competitions to solidify that as a Champions League spot for 5th place in the Premier League for next season. No gimme for Arsenal against Real Madrid. In fact, I'd expect Madrid to go through. No gimme for Villa against PSG. In fact, I'd expect PSG to go through. Relying on Tottenham, relying on Chelsea, relying on Man United as well to do the business in Europe, in the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. That's where our season's at. It's not been a very good season. There's a lot to reflect on in this game. There's a lot to reflect on for this season as well. And I think this performance today, it summed up Manchester City just not being good enough. They're my thoughts. Get your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. Do subscribe if you're new around here. It is free to subscribe. Plenty more City content to come for you guys. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links, which you can find in the description and sliding across at the bottom of the screen. If you want to go and search for me and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. And I'll see you all again real soon for the next City video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.